One of the best starters in the game is Braden Williams, and he is there. Here comes Tate Taylor. They're neck and neck. There goes Tate Taylor. I told you Tate Taylor was one that can win it, and I think he does.
He wasn't the favorite. He wasn't the name everyone was whispering about before the race. Just another high school kid? Fast, no doubt, but not the one people had circled. But in the blink of an eye, that changed. Tate Taylor, a 17-year-old junior from San Antonio, Texas, walked onto the track at the biggest meet of his life and did something no American teenager had ever done. 9.92 seconds. That's all it took to make history. And what made it even crazier? No one saw it coming. Not the announcers, not the coaches, not even the other runners lining up next to him. It happened on May 3rd, 2025, during the UIL State Track and Field Championships at Mike A. Myers Stadium in Austin, a venue that has seen hundreds of fast finishes, but nothing like this. Taylor was lined up in the 100-meter final for Class 6A, the toughest division in the state and arguably the country. His season had been solid. He'd clocked 10.08 seconds a few weeks before. Fast? Yes. Record-breaking? Number analysts expected a competitive race, maybe a sub-10.2, but certainly not a national record. Then the starter called them to their marks. Silence fell. The gun fired. Tate didn't react with panic or tension. His start was explosive but composed. His body leaned in perfectly, arms pumping like pistons. By the fifth stride, he was gliding. Every phase of the sprint, the drive, the transition, the top-end speed clicked like gears in a machine. The others were moving fast too, but Taylor looked like he was on a different surface. He wasn't just running, he was slicing through air. By the halfway mark, he'd edged ahead. But it was the final 40 meters where it became undeniable. His form held. No tightness, no wasted motion. As he crossed the finish line, he didn't even flinch at the board. But the stadium did. 9.92 seconds. The crowd went silent for a split second, processing, then erupted. Coaches on the sideline clutched their stopwatches. Athletes from other events stared, mouths open. Officials checked the wind, plus 1.1 meters per second, perfectly legal, no tech glitch, no review needed. Tate Taylor had just broken the U.S. high school 100-meter record, previously held by Christian Miller at 9.93. That record, set just a year earlier, had seemed untouchable. Now, it was gone. Not just beaten, cleanly erased. But this wasn't just a U.S. moment. It was a global statement. Taylor's 9.92 made him the second fastest under-20 sprinter in world history. The only teenager to run faster is Botswana's Letsile Tebogo, the world champion who ran 9.91. Everyone else, Trayvon Bromell, Noah Lyles, Arion Knighton, had been slower at this age. And Tate, he wasn't done. Later that same day, he returned to the track for the 200 meters. Still calm, still composed. You'd think someone who had just shocked the country would feel pressure, but he didn't show any. As he came off the curve, he began pulling away again. His stride lengthened. His speed never dipped. He crossed the finish line in 20.14 seconds, another staggering time. That made him the fourth fastest under-18 runner ever in that event. Only 3 names are ahead: Knighton, Bolt, and Gout. That's the company he now keeps. 2 races, 2 record-level performances, 1 high school athlete. And here's what's wild. None of this was supposed to happen this fast. In 2023, Tate was running 10.59 with a helpful tailwind. The next year, October 28th, into a minus 1.2 headwind. It was solid improvement, but not headline-grabbing. Scouts noticed. Track fans noticed, but the national spotlight hadn't found him yet. Then in early 2025, he dropped to 10.08, and just weeks later, 9.92. Progression like that doesn't happen by chance. It was built from the ground up, step by step, quietly, relentlessly. People are now beginning to realize Tate Taylor isn't just gifted, he's calculated. A technician, someone who knew exactly where he was headed, even when no one else did. Tate Taylor's 9.92 isn't just a national record. It's a time that would have landed him 4th at the 2024 U.S. Olympic trials. That means a 17-year-old high school junior is already running times just one slot away from making the U.S. Olympic team. To put that in perspective, Noah Lyles ran 10.14 in high school. Ariane Knighton, a global medalist, didn't break 10 until turning pro. Trayvon Bromell's 9.99 had a massive 4.0 meters per second tailwind. Tate, he ran 9.92 when legal in the Texas heat at a state meet. So where does he go from here? Every top NCAA program in the country wants him. Coaches are pitching elite facilities, Olympic training partnerships, and full scholarships. But Tate has another option, one that very few high schoolers ever earn: going pro. With NIL, name, image, and likeness rules in place, he can sign endorsement deals while still in high school. Brands like Nike, Adidas, and Puma are watching. He could skip the college circuit entirely, sign with a pro team, and aim straight for international gold, just like Knighton and Sydney McLaughlin did. So far, he hasn't made a public decision, but every path leads toward a bigger stage. The next logical stop? The World U20 Championships. Not only is he expected to qualify, he's expected to dominate. And after that, the Diamond League, a series of global meets featuring the best sprinters on the planet. If he enters that world, he could be racing Olympic finalists within the year. And yet, he's still only 17. That's what makes this so unreal. Most sprinters hit their peak between ages 22 and 26. Tate is still developing, still growing into his frame, still sharpening every stride. If he stays healthy, he has the potential to become one of the fastest humans ever recorded. And it's no accident. His coach at Harlan High has built a training system modeled after the world's best. He works on explosive power, sprint mechanics, reaction time, and recovery like a professional. Film review, technique analysis, strength and speed. His entire system is designed for precision. Even his recovery and lifestyle, nutrition, sleep, stretching, are managed with care. That's the mindset of someone not just trying to win meets, but to become elite. Mentally, he might be even stronger. After the 9.92, he wasn't boastful. He was thankful, calm, clear-headed. Harlan High, once a decent sprint school, is now a hotbed of national attention. Their 4x100 relay, anchored by Tate, ran 41.07, one of the fastest in the country. His performance is elevating everyone around him, but all eyes remain on him. Because what he did at State wasn't just fast, it was defining. It changed the conversation about what high school athletes are capable of, about how early greatness can appear, about how far focus and discipline can take you. Now, every young sprinter in America sees that number, 9.92, and knows it's real, not a fantasy, not an outlier, something they can chase. The track world is watching. Fans are waiting. And Tate Taylor, he's just getting started. So what's next? Will he go after Tebogo's 9.91? Will he go pro before senior year? Or will he shock the world again, this time at the 2028 Olympics? Whatever path he chooses, one thing's already clear. Tate Taylor didn't just run into history, he ran into the future. If this blew your mind, just wait, Tate's story is only getting started. Smash that like button if you're rooting for him to go pro, and drop a comment. Will he break Tebogo's record next, or make the Olympic team first? And don't forget to subscribe, because this won't be the last time Tate Taylor makes history.
Oh no, the whole crowd will go.
Wow,
because that was Usain Bolt.
Massive disappointment.
Daegu, 2011. The world's fastest man, Usain Bolt, stood at the 100-meter final start line. All eyes focused on him. At 25, he remained undefeated in championship 100-meter races since 2008 and entered as the defending world champion. The stadium buzzed with anticipation. Next to him stood Johan Blake, Kim Collins, and Walter Dix. The gun fired, Bolt jumped early. A false start? Disqualified. Rule 162.7 left no room for second chances. The stadium fell silent as spectators processed what they'd witnessed. Bolt ripped off his shirt in disbelief and walked off. The track stunned. This split-second decision would haunt him for years to come. Recently, on Puma's Go Wild podcast with Colin Jackson on April 30th, 2025, Bolt finally addressed this painful moment with complete honesty. "It's my fault," he admitted, taking full responsibility for one of the most shocking moments in Olympic track history. Bolt, the triple world and Olympic champion, had dominated sprinting for years after storming to the 100-meter and 200-meter sprint double in then-world record times at the 2008 Olympics. He matched this achievement the following year at the Worlds in Berlin, setting new marks of 9.58 and 19.19 seconds. His premature exit from the blocks happened so quickly that many spectators couldn't process what they'd seen. The defending champion caused shock throughout the stadium in Daegu as he launched from his blocks well before the starter's gun. The rules were clear. Any false start resulted in immediate disqualification. Bolt made a hasty retreat after this devastating turn of events. When asked about tears, he simply responded, "Not going to happen. I'm okay." Later, he released a short statement via the IAAF website. "I have nothing to say right now. I need some time." On Puma's Go Wild podcast with Colin Jackson, Bolt finally opened up about that painful moment. He didn't sugarcoat his experience.
I think, so throughout the season, it was frustrating because I couldn't get my start together. It was on and off. I was starting good now, and then the next round I would do bad.
Bolt revealed his coach had repeatedly urged him to stop fixating on his start.
So it was something that was on my mind, and my coach keep telling me, stop worrying about your start. You will never be great at start. You'll be okay. Stop worrying. Just go and execute that you need to execute.
But on that crucial day in Daegu, Bolt couldn't quiet his mind.
I went out there, always on my mind, was get it right, get it right, get it right. That's always thinking in my head.
The pressure built until the critical moment arrived.
And for some reason, I could swear somebody said, go, and I just went. And as soon as I got our blocks, I was like, no, there was no good. You know what I mean?
What truly devastated Bolt wasn't just the disqualification, but how completely out of character his behavior had been.
I wasn't myself, because I was never that person to be thinking about something. I was always the person to be calm, enjoying the crowd. I wasn't doing that. I was just so focused on trying to get it right.
In another interview, Bolt elaborated on his mental state that season. Bolt told this on Obi-Wan podcast.
You know what I mean? As soon as I got out, I was like, what the hell did I just do? You know what I mean? I know when people are like, why do you take off your shirt? I was like, bro, I fast started by a mile. It was like it was close. I was like, so much. You know what I mean? And it was just the fact that I was in my head, worrying about if I was going to run fast, if I was ready. And that was a lesson, you know what I mean? I learned from that moment.
The normally confident, relaxed showman had transformed into someone consumed by doubt and anxiety. This internal battle proved his undoing.
I was all in my head like, am I ready? Am I ready?
Yeah. Wow.
Because I wasn't the same person. If you watch my season, I was struggling. People were running close to me. So in my head, I was in my head. So when I got to the start, even though my coach was like, yo, you're fine.
Relax.
I could not get out of my head. You know what I mean? So
Bolt's loss at Daegu revealed something rare in elite sports, a champion's vulnerability. The man who seemed invincible had shown he was human after all. This singular mistake shifted Bolt's perspective fundamentally.
And that's what cost that year. Cost me the 100 meter that year, because I wasn't myself. So after that, I kind of sat down to myself and thought about it. I was like, you know what? That was all on me. You know what I mean? There's no one to blame or to point a finger. That was all on me. So I figured that much, and I was like, you know what? I will never let that happen again.
The theme of personal accountability runs deeply through Bolt's reflection. Unlike many athletes who might seek external justification for failure, Bolt embraced full responsibility.
A lot of people, as I took the blame with the start, a lot of people would try to find excuses like, oh, it was because of the gun, or there was noise, or it was something. No, it was all on me. I understand to take accountability for my mistakes and what I've done. And that's why I got to the level, because if I did something as a coach, you know what? It's my fault. I'll do better next time. And then I'll go fix it.
This honest self-assessment didn't just help him process the disappointment. It became central to his philosophy as a competitor and later as a role model. Speaking with Colin Jackson, Bolt expanded on this mindset,
Yeah, I've seen so many people try to push blame onto somebody else. You know what I mean? And the moment you do that, then you're defeated. Because now you'll never move forward. You know what I mean? Because if you're pointing fingers and saying that means you're going to make the same mistake you made yesterday because you feel like you did nothing wrong.
While Bolt processed his shock elimination, the race continued without its biggest star. His Jamaican training partner Johan Blake seized the unexpected opportunity, clocking 9.92 seconds to claim gold. American Walter Dix took silver with 10.08, while veteran Kim Collins from St. Kitts and Nevis secured bronze in 10.09. The 21-year-old Blake, though sympathetic to his training partner's plight, couldn't contain his elation at his unexpected triumph. He said, "I don't think I can find words to explain it. I feel like I want to cry. I have been praying for this moment. This is all a dream for me right now. Usain Bolt has been there for me. I felt I would win the race for Bolt." Dix, a double Olympic bronze medalist, expressed surprise at the strict enforcement. "I didn't really think they were going to kick him out. How can you kick Usain out of the race?" The 35-year-old Collins questioned the rule's validity after collecting his third World Championships bronze medal. "I don't think it is right. These things happen, but you have to give people a chance," the St. Kitts and Nevis athlete. "If the IAAF feel that is the right way to go for TV rights and everything, the rule will stay. As much as I want to be on the podium, tonight is a sad night for athletics." The disqualification spotlighted the contentious one-strike false start rule introduced by governing body the IAAF for the 2010 season. Previously, athletes were allowed one false start before being disqualified for a second, but the new regulations offered no second chances. The rule change had a significant impact on the championships. Bolt wasn't the only high-profile casualty. Britain's Dwayne Chambers was disqualified for a false start in the semifinals, just one day after his compatriot Christina Hurogu suffered the same fate in the 400 meters. The International Association of Athletics Federations faced immediate pressure to reconsider the regulation. Kim Collins directly appealed for review. "I am hoping the IAAF will think about what is going on and see how the one false start rule is affecting the sport and see the pros and cons of changing it." With 3 decades of experience, Collins had witnessed multiple rule iterations and believed the current approach was deeply flawed. "I think if you give the field at least one false start, it would be a better rule, but the athletes don't make the rules." The IAAF initially defended their position. Communications Director Nick Davies stated firmly, "A rule is a rule. It is the same for everyone. Now is a moment to keep our perspective, and it is not the right moment to make changes." The organization later reinforced this stance. "A sport's credibility depends on its rules, and they must also be applied consistently and fairly for all athletes."
We can get this.
Yeah, because you look good. When you had the belt out, you were looking good because you were pulling away from Freya little by little. So I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, I was like, damn.
Usain Bolt just exposed the shocking reality behind his legendary rivalry with Michael Johnson, and it's nothing like you've heard before. His raw honesty, the fierce drive to prove doubters wrong, and the unrelenting pressure he faced paint a picture far beyond the track. From shutting down critics to making a bold stand on the podcast, Bolt's response is more intense than ever. This is a side of him you've never witnessed. The Jamaican sprinting legend, known for his typically jovial demeanor, showed a rarely seen competitive fire as he systematically dismantled Johnson's claims with both his words and his historic accomplishments. This unexpected verbal showdown between two track icons has revealed the intense rivalry and personal feelings that simmered beneath the surface of their public personas, giving fans a glimpse into the psychological warfare that exists even among the sport's greatest champions. I looked at the 200-meter world record as untouchable. That's how I looked at it, facts. When it comes to 200, I don't fear anybody, nobody. I'm ready all the time to go. You know what I mean. Remember, he was the one that said, "I couldn't break the world record," Bolt stated pointedly during the podcast, referencing Johnson's doubts about his abilities. This direct challenge to Johnson's assessment carries extra weight, considering the incredible achievements that followed.
Eating up the ground. I was like, yeah, we definitely winning this. I was like, we definitely winning this.